Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Today we are going to talk about one of our case studies, testing of top 11 3D football match. We are Q engineers, my name is Andrija Djuric.
And my name is Svetislav Ponjavic.
So let's start. What we are going to talk about today. Here's the agenda. First off, we'll start giving you the context. What was the business goal and how was the team set up? Then we try and divided the whole problem of creating this complex system into 4 major challenges. And you will see how we actually approached each of these challenges.
First of all, let's start with the top 11. And now I want to share you a bit of context regarding this game. Top 11 is a football management game. So far we have 260 million registered users, and the game is 13 years old, which means that there are many different features, different live events, etc. Top 11, as we said, is a football management game. That means you, as a user, can play against other users football matches and compete in different competitions. Today we are going to talk about a new feature in Top 11 game. And first of all, let's start with the business goal. So that time our goal was to attract a larger user base and to enhance community engagement with an exciting new feature. That means that we really like to listen to our users in order to bring a nice experience to them. This time we wanted to upgrade the current 2D football match in Top 11 by introducing a visually stunning 3D live match feature with a premium look and feel. How we are going to build that? Well, we need something that is called Football Engine in order to have those feeling inside Top 11 and to integrate that Football Engine in Top 11 game. Okay, what is Football Engine? Football Engine is actually a complex system that should provide that realistic football in 3D, which means that we have 11 versus 11 football match that is displayed in our game, and it should actually take into account all the relevant inputs from user, from the state on the pitch, etc., like formation, tactics, player skills, and many others. By doing that, you can enjoy that football experience while playing Top 11 game. Of course, Football Engine, as we already said, is a complex system. It has many components, like animation, like AI, like physics. Now, when we know about Football Engine and what is actually we are building, let's talk about who is delivering that feature to our users. Let's talk about team. Usually we have one development team that is working on some feature, but this time we have 2 development teams. We have Football Engine team that was developing Football Engine that provides 3D actions. And on the other side, we have Top 11 game team that was integrating those 3D actions into existing Top 11 game and match feature. Because we are talking about QA today and our perspective and our experience, there was one QA per both development teams. Of course, beside development teams, we always have supporting teams like localization, user researchers, etc. Okay, now, as we already said, we will go with challenges.
So yeah, we divided the 4 major challenges, and we will try to make it more clear to you how we do the QA, what is all needed for it, and the whole process of testing the Football Engine team. So here we will first off try understand the concepts and requirements of the game. So you have animations, AI, physics, feature requirements from Top 11, etc. Then we will jump into the next challenge and talk about collaboration in such a complex now environment. Then for more QA interesting stuff, we will see how it was to create that testing plan. It's not the same as some usual feature for the game. And at the end, we will look from the bird's perspective, the whole experience and quality of the systems and subsystem itself. Let's now jump into the first challenge, understanding the actual concepts and requirements in order to build this game. So what are we going to build? First off, you have a football engine components. And this is a really complex system. Everything needs to be working together perfectly. There is an AI, animations, physics. Then, beside that, you have already existing top-level game, and you have game designers designing feature requirements from their side, as well as tech requirements, their limitations for everything to work smoothly across all mobile devices. And last but not least, you have the actual football. How are we going to approach all of these three things? You as a QA need to be really engaged with internal engine experts. So you really need to know what you're going to be build. A part of that, there is already existing top-level game. This should be integrated and implemented into it. So everything needs to make sense. And for that to make sense, you need to be engaged also with top-level engineers. And you need to play the game in order to really understand what you are going to achieve, what you want to achieve, that experience level of the game to be on the higher quality bar. Also, while doing this, it's really, really important to identify the risks and discuss them with your team in order to catch something early development stage. This should be by everyone that is included in doing projects. So you should always question your decisions, not just by questioning them, but every individual is contributing to the whole process of development and testing throughout the beginning of development stage, throughout the full launch. You really need to watch and analyze the real-life football if you want to bring that real 3D football actions into your game. If it is needed, you should talk to the football experts and gain some more information about how the real-life football behaves into the game. That's one challenge. So you really need to be in the core of it. You need to understand the concepts and requirements. But next challenge is a little bit different. You need to have the cross-discipline across the teams.
The next one that we want to cover today is actually collaboration. We in Nordius really like to work as a team and to solve different kind of problems as a team. Also, what is important to mention here is that conquering together is actually one of our core values at Nordius. This was a bit complex environment that we didn't have in some previous situation. It was really challenging for us to approach it and to stay like on the top when talking about that collaboration. First of all, what we want to cover here is actually what part. What are the most important things that we want to ensure while working together? First of all, it's knowledge sharing. Then we have status and progress updates. Then we want to define ways of working together. And the last thing that is like really important for QA engineers is that we want to ensure visibility of quality state during a whole development cycle. Now I want to talk a bit about how we approach this collaboration. I want to mention a couple of different meetings that can cover and that can give us some answers on this what part. First of all, we have a one-on-one collaboration, like two colleagues that are working on something together. The first important topic here is informal communication. We really rely on that informal communication. We like to be proactive when solving problems, when solving some challenges, when gathering some ideas, etc. The most frequent approaches and the most frequent things that we are doing is that informal communication. So, for example, if you have some problem while working on some feature and you are blocked and you know a person that can help you, just talk with that person, resolve issue and continue. Beside that informal communication, we have something that is like industry standards and good practices, and I will mention them now. Pair programming is also one-on-one type of collaboration. We also want to say that we are doing pair QAing, like thinking about edge cases while trying to figure out the most dangerous part of the systems and something similar. Or, for example, writing some pieces of code. And we can do that together. And then when we are doing that together, we actually exchange knowledge. That is the thing what is really important here. Speaking of QA team, we as a QA team really like to ensure that we share knowledge between each others, that we are working on the right things with applying the best practices, etc. So we have QA sync meetings once per week, where we sit together, where we talk some interesting war stories, or where we talk about some experiments, about some approaches, etc. Now I want to share you a couple of meetings that we are practicing inside of the team that is actually working on the feature. Here I will just mention briefly what they are. First of all, if you want to gather some ideas, it's really interesting when you have like different roles on one place and they discuss about some solutions, for example, from really different perspectives. For example, developer has some idea that is related to tech field, but on the other side, for example, user researcher is someone who is user-centric and he has really different ideas. So brainstorming is a place where we try to collect all those ideas in order to, for example, solve some issue, to think about some new features, some new functionality, etc. Besides gathering ideas, we also try to identify risks in early stages, and we also all together participate pre-mortem, that is a meeting for actually catching those risks. In order to have everyone aligned what we are going to build, we use some kind of meeting that is called event storming, where actually we all together try to make flow of that feature. When making that flow, we are actually aligning about how that feature will work. And the last thing that I want to mention here, and that is really interesting, and we will cover that in more details a bit later, is a play session meeting. Play session is a place where everyone sits together and we actually play the game. So by doing that frequently, we can see progress and we can actually see like if we are going into the right direction in terms of quality, in terms of speed, etc. So this was about how we collaborate while working on 3D match experience.
So on to the next challenge is maybe more interesting for future QAs or QA engineers. So how we actually created a test plan. We will cover the most impactful things when approaching creating the test plan itself, and when building and facing with such a complex system and complex technology, you always need firstly to stick to the basics. So in advance, you should always have your timeline prepared, and you always need to define your milestones. As here we show an imaginary example where we have some timeline and some milestones defined on them. You should put them on the timeline, and this is all in order for you to stay focused on the most important thing at a time. If you don't have these features, and the whole process might diverge very, very quickly and you can be very lost. So you prepare yourself, you stay focused. What's next? So very important thing for a QA is how you're going to create the whole testing process at the early stage of development. We sat down, we defined how we will observe the whole quality state throughout the whole development process, and this is in the early stage of development. That's really important. We designed together with developers dashboards and alerts. They'll alert us if anything goes wrong, and that's how we introduced the metrics and logs system. So we use those metrics and logs during the development, and we ensure that critical opponents are always appropriately logged. So we have the system that will observe the quality state. What should we use it on? Of course, the test cases. Like I said, the test cases for this kind of complex system isn't always the most simple one. We were encountered with a very difficult problem. We have an AI driving the whole football. And the question really is how to cover the infinite number of different scenarios that AI can create and provide you with. We thought about it a lot, and we first off look into the aspects of the football game in order to really make it premium and feel really real. Then, using the metrics and logs, we define the metrics that we will look into when evaluating those aspects. And you might say, well, if there is infinite number of scenarios where we will fetch those metrics, well, we will create many different important scenarios, and we will use that kind of scenarios to collect the metrics. Well, you can't really do it manually, so you need to really automate your tests. And here goes the test automation. For the testing development process, we have automated testing and speeding up the actual manual testing. And by automation testing, we really mean testing the components of the football engine individually, so AI, animation, physics, and others. Of course, we have the classic basics unit testing that developers do. And really interesting stuff is the integration testing that we have. So if you have an AI and animation system working together, AI behaves like the brain of the player, and the animation system behaves like the body of the player. And these two, how they interact, is the most important thing for the whole 3D match. Beside that, we have speeding up the manual testing. Because we cannot look manually into infinite number of different scenarios, we created the commands to enforce some scenarios directly from our application, and we created the system for reporting issues from application while we're testing it. Because after it, we can see those issues, we can collect the metrics, and testing can be continued. Besides this classic test automation, we have something that we need to look into while testing the game. And these kind of environments are called test environments. This is kind of like the production, because production is made of a lot of systems, and a lot of systems needs to get built and deployed. But for our own needs, we needed something smaller, not like production. So we will build and deploy some systems depending on our needs. Engineers like to have their code base synced on every commit or on daily basis. Then it should get deployed, and when engineers want to test some feature that they specifically are working on, they can simply log into application and see at their test environments. So these are these kind of rules when building the test environments. So on every commit there should be one rule. What kind of system are going to get built and deployed is another rule. Maybe on daily basis, if you want to have code base synced, is some other rules. So these are the rules when building the test environments, and this is how we build our continuous integration, continuous deployment pipeline. In order to now test the actual performance, our application and our game is divided on the back-end and front-end side. For everything to perform well, you need to be sure that the client is performing very well. So we have a client performance, and that the back-end is performing very well. And that is the back-end performance testing. And by the back-end performance testing, we will introduce you to spammers and shadow test. But let's bring it a little bit back. So client performance, we have a bunch of devices. We have a metric system developed. We will look into temperature of the device, CPU usage, RAM and memory, that kind of stuff, in order to really be sure that everything works smoothly across all mobile devices. For the backend side, we need to ensure that our backend servers work smoothly and properly. There is no delay between fetching and sending requests, and between simulating the 3D match. That is the most important thing. So we have spammers on production-like test environment. And these spammers, as Q engineers, we sit down, we write them, and write what kind of requests we want to bomb the backend side with. So you will have hundreds of thousands of requests written down procedurally, and just bomb testing the backend and see how it is performing. Is the RAM memory leaking? Is CPU usage on the right level? And so on. Besides that, we have something called also shadow test. And shadow testing is testing the new backend that we are developing beside the actually driving production. And this is actually what we did when we deployed and fully launched the football engine into the production. So how is it work? Shadow testing is basically, in simple words, just retrieving the inputs from the real production to our new backend, which is not working production, but we are fetching the real inputs, going through our new backend, fetching the metrics of performance, whether it works well, and then in our local Nordeus network, we can really see the new backend, how it really behaves. And this was maybe the most major thing that was on the fully launch of football engine, because we could have just launched it all with everything switched on. We were really sure that everything works really well. That was maybe the biggest challenge for a QA, surely, but the experience is also, last but not at least, the last step in the whole testing process, let's say, because experience is you are looking into the quality of the system as a whole. You will look from the bird's perspective, the whole system and his quality, and how will you actually test that kind of stuff. So for the experience and the quality of the 3D football match, we encountered and introduced the play sessions. We mentioned them, but what are the actual play sessions? So play sessions are the meetings where me as a QA will define the goal and define the flow of the whole play session, what we want to test. And the important thing here is that we will gather up all the people that are specifically working on the football engine. So these people are biased. That's really important stuff. So we'll gather them up. Some animation engineer will find some bug much more quickly in the animation system, and the AI engineer will find the bug much more quickly on the AI part side of the system. And this is really important. You will gather up different disciplines working on the same product. After the play session, you will sit down together with product manager, you will prioritize your stuff, and then validate that all issues are addressed. Next stuff when testing the whole experience equality, beside the play session, we have something called high quality commission. And these two are kind of similar, but very different, because high quality commission are internal people that validate the quality football itself. So here, really important is that these people are not biased by the system itself. So these people are not tech or art related in any sense to the football engine. They do not know how the football engine works. They do not know the AI, animation system. They only just look at the football itself. Does it really look like Premier League, BBVA or not? This is really important. This will give you the different perspective and aspect of whether or not your game that you're building, the 3D football match, is on a high quality bar. Is it a real football or not? We nearly came to the end. We want to launch our game, but don't forget the most important part of your company or your game are your actually users. So 3 important things here. Always listen to your users. The small changes for you might make a huge difference for them. And something that may have happened from your perspective, users might actually love it. And here we will show you the actual real example that happened. We were trying to implement one thing. So first off, we listened to our users, and the goal scoring aspect of the game is really important to users. And actually scoring the goal is the most exciting part of the football as well. So users want to be able, their players being capable of lobbing the goalkeeper. So that was pretty small change from our development team. Small change in our system, we just added the possibility that player can lob the goalkeeper. When we sat out together with community, after we released it, something may or have happened. So there was an actual video published on the internet of a user showing that player dribbled the goalkeeper, then lobbed afterwards in an open goal. And this is basically the issue in the real production, and you as a QA need to address it together with product manager, prioritize it, and then the team will fix the issue. That's what we did. But actually, when looking deeper into the comments on this video, we saw that users actually loved this scenario. So this is actually extraordinary what the AI can really do. And we sat down, we implemented another thing, the player can dribble the goalkeeper, that chip into the goal. That was where he was heading at. The lob looked like the chip, so we implemented another stuff. Actually, it was a small change as well, adding animations, adding another possibilities, tuning stuff, and that was basically it. So, important lesson here, listen to your users, and users, the most important thing in the game. They need to be engaged in your testing pipeline. That was it. There was the all 4 major challenges, and I hope we really introduced you to our QA world, and this is all about learning. So nothing we have experienced before. So QA isn't really all about testing, manually clicking. It's more about managing, learning through the process, managing to encounter the complex things and know the smart way of thinking how to actually test everything. Thank you again all for watching us. My name again is Andrija Djuric. I'm a software QA engineer in the Football Engine team, and
my name is Svetislav Ponjavic. I'm QA manager in Top 11 team. Thank you.